In the world of Masterpiece Transformers, or any Transformers for that matter, accessories can definitely add to the value of your purchase. They can increase your display options and give you a lot more playability with your figure. In some cases, we can use more accessories, and in other cases, maybe we have too many already. We're going to get in this and talk about accessories in the Masterpiece line coming up. So the first thing I want to talk about is Matrix and Matrix options. And in the beginning of the Masterpiece line, we got the MP01 Matrix. Now the MP01 Matrix was actually an interesting design simply because of the fact it could open. It was the only Matrix that I know of that actually opens and represents opening the power of the Matrix. And that gimmick is a really cool gimmick. It was completely made out of plastic on this Matrix. And when you opened it up, the transparent plastic in the middle made it look like it was opening up and releasing the force. It also, there was a light in the MP01 that would shine through it, so you could push the button on MP01 and see a light shining through the Matrix. So a lot of cool gimmicks right there, but it kind of got canceled at MP10. Now the MP10 ushered in a smaller metal, die-cast metal Matrix, but it did look good. It was very shiny and it had a nice little clear-ish type of an inside part of it, and it did represent the actual look of the Matrix a lot better, but it lacked any sort of functionality whatsoever. And nowadays, well, there are probably a ton of different Matrixes laying around, but how many of them actually open, right? There are even upgrade kits. You can buy upgrade Matrixes and other types of Matrixes that are out there, and these are all pretty cool. I think that you could have a different Matrix for whatever pose you want. But some people kind of get irritated at having 50 different matrices laying around. Matrix eyes? So next thing I want to talk about is that, or faces, I guess you could say, to swap. Why not include an extra head with the accessories? Now, I've always wondered why you'll get 3 or 4 faces, but you don't get an additional head. You have to resort to possibly an upgrade kit to get an extra head. 1 or 2 Masterpiece figures in the third party actually get an entire extra head, and it's very seldom you get that. But you do get a multitude of faces, so you can show different expressions or show some battle damage or whatever. I do have to give it to Zeta. Zeta did include 2 versions of their Superion head with their Superion, actually with their Silverbolt, and they look good. They both look good. One just looks a little bit more toon, one looks a little more toy. I guess that's kind of the whole approach to it, but I think that it's really awesome that they included both of these heads. I really wish we'd get more heads with these. And they both have electronics and they both have voice. So sound is awesome. So one of the things we're starting to see show up in the MP world are blast effects. Now blast effects have been around for a while now, but the main line is really embracing them, and the Masterpiece line is starting to include them with almost every release for Takara, and some third parties are jumping on board. Even the fun gimmick of lighting up, say, ice or fire, it really does add to a display value, and it adds to the value of the item. I just think they're really cool. So next I want to talk about some accessories. With the Bumblebee, we got the exosuits. We're going to start to get into talking about some human accessories in here, but we really only got the one. I always wondered, like, why did we get one and not the other? Why did we not get options to buy it separate? Well, you know what? It was not built very well. It's not a very good figure, and it truly is just an accessory. It isn't a figure on its own. Now, we did have some old school Impossible toys that made a set. I don't know if they went separate. Yeah, I think you bought them separately, I guess, and they look okay. By today's standards, they definitely are outdated. One of the problems with the humans now, especially with Hound, is the scale of these guys. And they start to be different sizes of figures based on what figure it's coming with, simply because will it fit? Will the engineering allow this figure to interact with the actual Transformers getting sold with that character? So that kind of causes issues where the sizes are different. So if you have a whole bunch of different humans, they may all be different sizes and it not make sense. You can leave that up to other, like, add-on kit companies, such as maybe Dr. Wu or them, but they could come along and make figures that are actually in the right scale. Now, obviously, if you're already buying these expensive figures, the accessories that come with them should cover it all, but then again, the upgrade kit market is a huge market. Now, speaking of upgrade kits or outside companies making accessories, well, we have this throne for Megatron. That's one of the cool kind of ideas out there. How can you enhance a display option? You can make a throne. What about the X2 Teletran 1? The X2 Teletran 1 is a pretty cool idea. The problem is these props and these extras cost, what? This one costs almost $200. That is crazy. It's cool, but for a hunk of plastic, it really should just be around 50, 60 bucks. I mean, I don't understand what's causing this thing to cost so much. But hey, I still think it's cool, and I think every single display that's set up and displays this piece looks amazing. So I start to wonder, is a company going to make one of these missile launchers? And it was in the movie. It was a critical point of the movie, and it was the one-time thing that we saw this missile launcher. But it was kind of interesting that every single Springer seems to get packed with that missile. And all those missiles look just a little bit different, don't they? So we'll go through a handful of figures that I think the accessories are a bit odd. And maybe too much. So looking at Fans Toys Quietest, Fans Toys does not include a lot of accessories with their figures. They don't really have to, and they're usually right on point. These swords that he comes with are cool. The whole samurai getup and the whole being able to swap out the horns, one's a broken horn, and having the side pieces on it and all of that, I think it's pretty cool. But is it necessary? I mean, there's a whole lot of history to it that I really don't understand or know or am associated with. I'm sure some people are really excited and display theirs in this samurai mode. Next, I want to talk about X-Transbots Neptune. I love this figure. I think it's an awesome figure, and I think the accessories, for the most part, are okay. But here's where you get into, will these actually get used? Will people display it with a beach ball and a shovel and a pail? Will you actually have somebody skiing? I mean, I'm sure some people will, but how often will you do that? And the vast majority of people display their Masterpiece Transformers in bot mode, so I don't see this as being something that's going to get a whole lot of use by anyone, even though it's really cool. Now, Wreck-Gar is an interesting figure himself. He's an interesting character because we watch TV, right? But he comes with a bunch of guns, which, hey, I'm cool with. The more guns, the merrier. He comes with a small TV. He comes with his obligatory axle axe kind of thing. And he also comes with this other green, I don't even know what that thing is, that box. But he comes with a ton of accessories. And I have to say that it is kind of cool to have them. But is it a bit too much? Well, I don't know. In this case, for the price, it doesn't seem to make the price any higher. Looking at Warbotron, I know I had a Warbotron, and I felt like there were just a million extra accessories with it. But when you really break it on down to what the accessories are and how it works, well, it's the fact that there's made up of 5 different figures. 5 different figures each need a gun, well, or in some cases 3, 4, or 5 guns each. But there's a lot of accessories with this set, and it's just what I remembered. When I remembered opening it up, thinking, wow, keeping track of all this is going to be hard. But it's still kind of fun. The Masterpiece Grapple comes with a lot of accessories, and to the point when I was looking at it thinking, I don't know if I'd ever use all this stuff. But that's when they kind of started making that shift and that change to super hyper tune, but they're still giving you like that front end. You can have a chrome front end bumper, or you can have a cartoon bumper, and some other things that they added in there that to give you some options. And of course, you have the obligatory items that come with every grapple. But this is the beginning of too many accessories. And where does it lead with too many accessories? Maybe Ratchet started off the too many accessories list. Who knows? But looking at this, you see a sled to store all the accessories. So you have so many accessories, you have to have an extra chunk of plastic to hold on to everything for you. So it's kind of interesting, but how much of this actually adds to the character, adds to the display, and truly adds to the value of your purchase? Nothing really says excessive accessories like the MP36. The MP36 has, of course, accessories for both modes, and there's a lot of them. Still didn't include an extra head, but a bunch of faces. But it also includes a whole bunch of parts for the gun. Of course, it's obligatory. All of the Masterpiece Megatrons include all of that kind of stuff, and the G1 included a ton of accessories. So that's kind of something that's been going on a long time. But is it too much? And with that, who actually uses all of this? Is this part of how Megatron, the MP36, had the largest price increase we've seen, well, until MP44? And we all started to wonder how much the Masterpiece Optimus Prime MP44 would have cost if they only cut back on these accessories. Well, without a trailer, without all these accessories, just give them a gun and a Matrix. Well, the answer to that is $250. But is this stuff all necessary? Is this all necessary because it's obligatory? Is there a reason to have all this? And yes, there's even more with the humans and all of that, but how necessary is it? Does anybody actually use it? Although all of those are cool, hey, I use that Starscream head for something else. Last thing I want to touch on is how a lot of people feel like he was overpacked with accessories, and it is kind of interesting how they did include this soft top, and that kind of holds everything, which it's cool. A lot of this stuff is really cool. Was it necessary? Did it add to the price point? Who knows? They also included the extra rear view mirrors, which I've never heard of anybody actually needing to use them. I don't know if it's more of a in case you lose it bit, or they anticipate them to break bit. But the reality of it is, a lot of people feel like it was really unnecessary, and the fact that we had such a big spike. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that we need more accessories? What accessories would those be? Do you think we need more upgrade kits to the Masterpiece line? Or do you feel like we have too many accessories or drowning accessories and we're struggling to keep up with them with baggies and totes, or keeping all of it in the box? Like, subscribe to DRM Hanger out.